Hello and welcome to my review of Requiem for a Ruler of Worlds by Brian Daley. Daley was the author of 3 Han Solo books and the comics based on them, and is kind of special to me because this actual one, was the first ever book that I bought with my own money last week. So I assume that these Han Solo books had a degree of success, and off the back of them, Daley was able to write and release 3 books based around his own characters: Alacrity, Fitzhugh, and Hobart, Floyt. Requiem for a Ruler of Worlds was the first, followed by Jinx on a Terran Inheritance and Fall of the White Ship Avatar. All 3 were released between 85 and 86. The plot involves a leader of a distant empire dying, and he leaves a mysterious bequest to a low-ranking Terran official, Hobart Floyt. Earth in this time is a bankrupt, isolationist dystopia ruled by bureaucrats and Stasi-like secret police. As such, they want whatever it is that Floyt has coming to him, and strong-arm the alienish space adventure Alacrity Fitzhugh into taking him to the will reading on the far-flung planet Epiphany and making sure he gets back safely with their loot. What follows is a largely meandering affair with a fair degree of world building that's fairly reminiscent of Heinlein's Citizen of a Galaxy, though Heinlein is more detailed. Neither novel truly forms a gripping story out of all their intricate details. The first aspect that surprised me really was that Alacrity, despite being a space adventure, has no spaceship. The 2 men basically end up paying their way across the universe in a variety of freighters. It's certainly interesting when Daley proposes that space travel has led to an increase in travellers' narratives, because the novel certainly reads like one for long spells. The stopover on the moon with a tribe of foragers called Sockwallets is something of a labour of love, and the Heinlein is definitely strong with this one, with Daley offering a look at their culture that is similar to Thorby's time spent with the Free Traders and Citizen of the Galaxy, though a touch shorter. This section of the book is interesting, but it adds little but filler, and as the opening of the second act, it might have been better if it was pruned. I was itching to get into space to see, if not what the inheritance bequeathed to Floyt was, at least who was trying to stop him from getting to it. There is an attempt on Floyd's life here, but it's at the end of a rather lengthy lot of information about the foragers that isn't really of any use beyond this point. The travelling across the stars that follows is more of the same really. It's light on any kind of action and long on the way things work. Additionally, aside from Alacrity shooting one of the ascendants on the moon, the space adventurer offers little in the way of help and a few instances of genuine hindrance. Likewise, the fish out of water Floyt copes largely without problems after leaving Earth. Certainly better than he did at home. Quite likely a degree of commentary on the dystopia Daley displays Earth as, riddled with prejudice and with widespread indoctrination. Prior to the mission, Floyt and Fitzhugh are both effectively brainwashed into certain behaviours. It seems unlikely in Fitzhugh's case that was necessary, as he is effectively a gun for hire anyway. And though it might explain away Floyd's unexpected competence, it also removes a degree of their agency. As George Sluicer says, without the chosen and willed deeds of the hero, you don't have much of a hero. And Alacrity's conditioning forces him to protect Floyt, a job he actually does fairly badly regardless. His brawl, for example, with the father of a girl he takes a shine to, actually threatens their missions, their lives, and the peace of the empire they're travelling to. He complains like a child about being called little in the middle of a diplomatic incident, snarls at a friend over a trifle. Floyt has to tell him to relax when he's overexcited by the variety of refreshments on offer, and observes later that he's out of his depth, and his gambling problem seems unlikely to help either, even though Daley doesn't do anything with it to make the scenes spent playing Monopoly for money anything more than filler. He also antagonises one of the nobles, indulges in a dangerous ball game that includes an attempt on his own life, all while leaving Floyt unprotected. When one of the factions within the Empire uses their behaviour to rearrange the power structure in their favour, Floyt muses that they were deliberately played, and the interested party remarks, "You brought most of the trouble on yourself," rather summing up the general incompetence at times of both Floyt and Fitzhugh. Daley may well have intended this, particularly Alacrity's behaviour, to subvert the hero-for-hire trope, but I'm not convinced because he plays up Alacrity's roguish nature via his effective fighting abilities when required, and his womanising at other times. The scene with the foragers on the moon sets the tone here, because Daley presents the scene largely from Floyd's perspective, which is required for the explanation of the minutiae that Alacrity already knows. We don't see what attracts Simoliana to Alacrity, so I use the term loosely. The romance between them stems from nothing, it's unearned. Daley's Han Solo has a charm that his Fitzhugh just doesn't. His relationship with Hart on Epiphany is handled better, but on arrival at this planet the whole thing picks up really. It's a shame that it happens so late in the book. There's a scene where Floyd's cycling chops, established in Act 1, come good, is well executed, but it'd be stronger if it was the payoff to Floyd's transition from spineless, literally vertebrae deficient, cheated husband to the more effective partner of the duo, rather than just another example of it. The air bike race ends with a crash and the duo stranded in the forest and chased by a fangster, a rather large predator. This scene is one of the best, but its brevity and ending disappoints when the beast won't cross the water that Floyt and Fitzhugh successfully forded, and then they are immediately rescued. The scene, as I said, is generally good. The fangster offers some genuine peril. Their method of crossing the river by carrying rocks as ballast is clever, and Daley writes pretty well. Their cycling shoes gave them only marginal purchase on the sluiced rocks of the stream bed, and the rushing current hit their upper bodies like an avalanche. Clutching their weights, buffeted and pounded, they struggled deeper and deeper still, wondering if they'd freeze before they made it across. And as mentioned, the beast chasing them is quite fearsome. Floyd's fleeting impression was of a mottled blur of flailing, whipping tentacles, slender, muscular legs, and body and wide jaws, 3 of them, surrounding a circular mouth with a long, curling, bifurcated tongue. It fed loudly, gnawing and lapping, snapping and crushing bones and sucking the marrow, its tentacles stuffing its mouth with incredible speed. None of this does anything revolutionary, but it sets up a monster worth running from, and a dangerous, heroic escape for our 2 heroes who are already injured. Yet the final part of the scene, where Floyt stumbles in the water and they both drop their ballast and are swept downstream like leaves, ends with them pushed to the shore by the current, and then, after struggling immensely in the current while crossing, just pulling themselves out. A flight of ships arrives and rescues them. The beast not crossing the water is forgotten. If you're going to end the first genuinely exciting chase of the novel with such a whimper, you may as well Deus Ex Machina it and have the rescue craft come down and shoot the beast. Requiem for the Ruler of Worlds is ultimately a strange book. Its anthropological designs harken back to the heyday of Heinlein, but its meandering first 2/3 mean it is, as tribute acts tend to be, not a patch on the original. Daley's heroes didn't click for me, and consequently their buddy movie ending didn't either, even though the way they get the bullet at the end is actually quite clever. That's basically the book. The traveller's narrative dilutes the heroic action. There's a lot of clever, but it doesn't have the same level of fun as Daley's Han Solo books. It is also twice as long, and the revelation of what the inheritance actually is offers no resolution to the book's mystery, and makes a flat-out lie of the back cover's assertion that this is a self-contained adventure. The problem is that there are a lot of books to read out there, and just not enough in Requiem for a Ruler of Worlds to recommend reading these. The book also seems to be largely a young adult novel, but features a handful of swear words, including F-bombs, and words like these on screen, which I don't agree with, particularly with writing down to a younger audience, but I think that probably most of these words will have young people reaching for a dictionary in the same way that I had to on occasion as well. Maybe I'll put the dictionary on my TBR, but if I do, it'll be ahead of the further adventures of Alacrity and Hobart Floyt.